Throwaway time. What's your secret that could literally ruin your life if it came out? 2.5 years ago I was in dire financial straits. So I sold my home to keep my struggling business afloat. I neglected to tell the owners that they have an 800 sq.ft. bunker on the property that I built about 7 years ago. The bunker that I've called home since I sold it. The entrance to it is well hidden. But I still come and go very early / very late in the day. I'm a single man who keeps to himself. I'm now in a situation where I could move somewhere else. But I love this hidden paradise so much. Can you post a pic of the bunker? I kinda want to see what it looks like. I speak 2 languages, so every time I received a new essay I would browse the topic in my own language and translate the text word by word to English, then submitted it. No one ever caught me for plagiarism before. Half of Europe does this. Not us Brits though. Learn another language? Don't make me laugh. 2015 update. I am currently learning Spanish. 2018 update. Gave up on Spanish and switched to French after about 6 months. Moved to Paris about a month ago. My ancestors didn't travel the world subjugating weaker cultures, so I'd have to learn their language. Damn it. I cut off all contact with everyone I know and moved to Kenya. I tell people a fake name and a fake background and have made it appear to my family that I died on boat trip in the Pacific. No, I am not joking. I am dead in the United States. Tupac. Okay. So this is a secret I've kept for nearly 20 years. During the summers when I was growing up, my parents would often leave my brother and 2 male with our aunt and uncle who lived out in the country. It was great as they had 4 sons of ages close to ours, so we had a lot of fun doing kid stuff. One summer when I was 8, the oldest cousin was maybe 16. We somehow got talking and he asked me if I wanted to sleep in his room that night. He has the nicest room and bed, so I was all for it. Got into bed and he asked if he could touch my bleep. I was 8 and just thought it was okay, so I let him. He rubs it for a bit and then asks me to do the same to him. So I do. This progresses and eventually I'm sucking his bleep. I think I knew this was wrong, so I said I didn't want to carry on. We stop and I go to sleep quite confused. I wake up and he hands me some money and tells me never to tell anyone about what happened. Next night he tries to do the same thing. But now all I care about is the money. So I do it. This carried on for 2 summers. Eventually I got old enough to realize it was quite wrong regardless of the money and stopped. I've not told anyone this. He's now married with 2 kids. I'm also married and we see them sometimes at family events. I don't have the balls to even try and talk to him about it. I'm not even sure what I'd say. I'm sure this will get buried, but just getting it off my chest makes me feel better. God, the TLDR just wrapped it up so beautifully. Shakespeare would be envious. I once helped out my female friend's family by taking care of their cat for a week. Every day for a week. I would go over there and snoop around their house. I found my friend's diary and proceeded to read the entire thing. I used this information to get her to like me. And she is currently my wife. This is literally the juiciest secret in this thread for some reason. Not totally bland, but not overly obscene. Probably because this is something I could actually picture any person doing if given the chance. I agree. It is not particularly evil, but it is a misdeed that completely altered that guy's life. Honestly, it sounds like a pitch for a mediocre romantic comedy. Guy manipulates girl into liking him. They fall in love. Girl finds out what guy did. They break up. Guy wins girl back. Credits roll. I feel like I've seen this movie already. I just wanted to tell everyone that you can be damn sure that this thread ain't dead. This is Reddit's freaking confessional box. When I was 13. During the summer before I started high school, I was molested by a guy who dragged me into an alley. Backed me into a corner so I couldn't escape, and even if I'd tried to, I couldn't have because he was taller and stronger than I was. And pulled my pants down. I tried to draw attention to where I was because I'd gone over to a guy's house with my friend because she liked him. And when we went, he just happened to have a friend there to hang out with me while they went off and did whatever. Anyway, I tried to shout and make as much noise as I could, and the guy goes, "This would be easier if you were laying down," and tried to force me to the ground. Then my friend finally shows up and goes, "OMG, my name, what are you doing?" And the guy obviously doesn't go, "Oh yeah, no, I was trying to rape her, this was my idea." But instead goes, "She was trying to have sex with me, ha 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 ha," and just walks away. Then my friend doesn't believe me when I tell her he dragged me into the alley because she'd disappeared well before anyone could see him pulling on my arm with both hands and me trying to resist it as much as I could. I never told anyone because I didn't want them to react the same way my friend did. I think about it a lot, and every day I say maybe this will be the day I finally tell my parents what happened, and then I never do. That was almost 6 years ago. My friend and I no longer speak. But I'd stopped being friends with her maybe 5 or 6 months after that because she told a couple of our other friends that I tried to have sex with a guy I'd known for all of 5 minutes during the summer. Heck. That's infuriating. I know what it's like not to be believed about the way something actually happened. But losing all your friends over it too? I don't want to be with my girlfriend anymore. But she might have cancer and I feel like I need to stay in the relationship. Edit. I have seen 50/50ths. Edit. Hey, so I thought I replied to this a few weeks ago. Today's date is 11/4. But I can't seem to find where I replied. She's healthy and I split up with her before we found out. Yay for life working out. Wow man, that is rough. It definitely is. Unfortunately, my girlfriend through high school's mom passed away from brain cancer when we were 18. So I have some coping strategies and experience with this already. To clarify, the girlfriend from high school is different from the girl I am dating now. I faked the last 2 years of college education. My parents put so much pressure on me I couldn't handle it. I was suffering from severe depression and anxiety, so I faked it all. Lied to everyone. Made up fake transcripts. I just got my foot in the door in my desired field thanks to a friend, as they hired me as a subordinate. This place only hires college grads, but no one double-checked my credentials since I was recommended. My hopes is that if I need to find another job, I'll have been at this place long enough to get it by experience alone. I work for a very prestigious company. I'm not bad at my job. I'm actually quite good. But my fear is eventually I'll hit a wall and the lie will come to light. No one has known this for the better part of a decade. It's a relief to finally say it out loud. I can't even tell those I love. My silence is my prison. If you get caught and go to a community college, you'll find a hilarious study group. This comment is streets ahead. Leonard likes this post. Shut up. Leonard. I know about your prescription socks. When I was 17, I had an argument with my father and told him to fuck off. Later that evening he hung himself. Our argument was the last time he spoke to anyone in our family, and for that I feel a terrible amount of guilt for. Instead of him saying goodbye and I love you to my mom and brothers, he got told to get off before he went and hurt himself. My punishment is to live the rest of my days in shame and guilt. He never left a note either. Thank you everyone for your kind words. My mother put me and my brothers in counseling after it happened. As I can only really speak for myself, I think it helped me cope enough to carry on, but now 11 years later my current life situation, married soon to be dad, is bringing back tons of bad memories and feelings. I just might take your advice and talk to someone about it. I have never even spoken about my dad's death with my wife, as she is coping with her father who is in the mid-stage of dementia, and that's hard enough, and don't want her to feel worse than what she is. I will probably seek out some professional help. Again, thank you all for the kind words. Everyone thinks I have a good job and roommates, but I've been homeless and a prostitute for over a year. There have been a lot of amas about prostitutes who ultimately work their way out of the business. I hope things get better for you too. IT guy here. It's amazing what people will do on their computers and say in their emails despite having to sign a waiver that all computer activity at work is monitored and recorded. I have half the company's banking, social media and personal email account info and passwords. I know who is secretly banging who at the office behind their spouses' backs. I know who is cybering at work and jerking it in the bathroom almost daily. At least they tell their jerk chat partner they're running off to the bathroom to jerk it. Haven't felt the need to check the validity of that one. I know when people are having marital problems, financial problems. I even know one person here had their children taken away because a social worker found cocaine in their house. I know who is embezzling money. I know when people get fired for completely crazy reasons, like they just want to replace them with someone younger and nicer on the eyes. And I know who my boss is buying Xanax and Vicodins from. Basically, I have a treasure trove of my co-workers' secrets. I won't actively do anything with this info, but it's nice knowing I have the ammunition there if something were to ever happen. When I was 15, my parents were going through a divorce. My mom worked night shifts and my dad was living with a friend of his. One night my sister, who was 19 at the time, came home pretty drunk from a party. She was acting goofy and fell on the couch next to me. She started grabbing my leg and laughing, and we started fondling. We ended up having sex right there. When we woke up the next day, she had no recollection of the night before, so I just kept my mouth shut. Fast forward to when I'm 18. Sister is home from college and dad is over for a visit. They get into an argument, and in a fit of rage my dad announces how he has never forgiven her for the abortion she got when she was 19 and subsequently killing his grandchild. He's very religious. I then realize the baby she aborted was, in fact, as far as I know, I am the only one who knows, since she has never mentioned that night. Shit. It may not have been yours. With any luck, you were just stirring some poor schmo's porridge from earlier that night. I once took a shit in the bathtub and then, realizing what a horrible mistake I'd made, I flung POO into a hole in the wall. My parents renovated and patched up the hole. So now there is a 15-year-old turd in between the bathroom and kitchen wall of my childhood home. Not even using a throwaway because I have no shame. The telltale poop. The poop of Amontillado. Yesterday I thought I had problems. Today my life is grand. 6 hours ago, I am the worst. Who fails calculus 2 semesters in a row? I think I should kill myself. Now. Every sunbeam is like the hair of a seraph. My daughter turns 5 next week. If anyone knew the truth behind her parentage, I could probably lose her forever. I grew up in foster care. Never knew my parents or siblings. In my senior year, I met an older guy and we dated for almost a year. Getting pregnant about 7 months in. One night while we were watching TV, the subject somehow came around to our real parents. He had been adopted as a young child. Turns out the man I was seeing, the father of my daughter, is my half-brother. We have the same mother. Our relationship didn't last. and he is not in her life. Per his own choices. My daughter is extremely smart, beautiful, and well-rounded. She'll never know the truth. Her father and I made a pact to never tell her. I just hope she never needs a kidney or something. Edit. Keep reading about people who knowingly slept with relatives they grew up with. Is it bad that I feel slightly less horrible? You wouldn't lose your daughter. This was an accident. Not something you did. No. You shouldn't feel horrible at all. Not your fault.